Good evening, friends. In this particular video, I am very pleased to convey information about the problem solving skills and competencies pertaining to the modules reciprocating air compressor and steam nozzles. In my earlier videos, I have conveyed the complete theoretical description pertaining to heat engines, gas turbines, jet propulsion, vapor power cycles, refrigeration and air conditioning, and eventually reciprocating air compressors and steam nozzles. But in the coming videos, I will be conveying information about how exactly a student has to solve a numerical problem in a specific module. But in this video, I am very particular about reciprocating air compressors and steam nozzles. Friends, while giving the theoretical description about reciprocating air compressors and steam nozzles, I have clearly told about the terms associated, principle of operation, the very prominent derivations in reciprocating air compressors and steam nozzles. But here I will give suggestive tip in solving numerical problems on compressors and nozzles. Let me tell the information in a very precise or a concise way so that any layman should be in a position to solve. Initially, let me start in reciprocating air compressors. Friends, while giving the theoretical description, I have clearly told in a reciprocating air compressor, one should be aware of the description about the principle of operation of air compressor. Next, the four prominent derivations in air compressors. Let me not tell the theoretical aspects in detail. Why? Because in the earlier video it has been covered clearly. To solve any numerical problem on reciprocating air compressor, one should be aware of four prominent derivations. Which are the four prominent derivations? I have clearly mentioned the first and the foremost expression. What you need to remember is work done by a single stage air compressor without clearance volume. Let me tell you directly, on drawing the pressure volume plot, you will not be indicating the effect of clearance volume. On derivation, what will be the final expression? Work done by a single stage air compressor without clearance volume, or power required to drive a single stage air compressor is given by W equal to N divided by N minus 1 P1 V1 into P2 by P1 exponential N minus 1 by N minus 1. Friends, please be very much clear whether you solve problem on gas turbine, refrigeration and air compressors. I have told a secret. What is that? One should be aware of the pressure ratio. Pressure ratio meaning what? Suction pressure or initial pressure will be P1, delivery pressure will be P2. If you are aware of the pressure ratio, it is very evident that any problem you can take up. So, whether the problem is on gas turbine, refrigeration or compressor, in any problem they will specify pressure ratio. Even in the case of air compressor, once when pressure ratio P1 and P2 are known to you, you don't find any difficulty in solving a problem. Okay? In the problem they will specify P1, P2, initial temperature, then polytropic index you will be aware of. The law of compression obeys Pv to the power of 1.3 equal to constant. What is that 1.3 there? It is very evident that 1.3 depicts what? Correct. Polytropic index. So, If the problem is without clearance volume, what will be the expression? N divided by n minus 1 P1 V1 into P2 by P1 exponential n minus 1 by n minus 1. All values will be given in the problem. Directly, you will be in a position to solve the power delivered by an air compressor. This is mainly single stage. Okay, this is one variety of problem. Okay, what will be the other variety? They will specify the problem with the clearance volume. So remember, while plotting PV plot or PV graph, what you need to depict? The effect of clearance volume. That is very important. Sir, whether the formula for calculating work done or power will change, very marginally it will change. What will be the formula? Work done by a single stage air compressor with clearance volume is given as what? N divided by n minus 1 P1. In place of V1, what will be replacing? V1 minus V4 into P2 by P1 exponential n minus 1 by n minus 1. So without clearance volume, it is simply V1 initial volume. But if clearance volume is given, what is that? V1 minus V4. In the PV plot, make sure that clearly you depict with and without clearance volume. Okay. So by this, you can solve any problem on air compressor with and without clearance volume. In both cases, pressure ratio will be encumbered. Then polytropic index we are supposed to take. So in place of V1, V1 minus V4, we have to use our brain properly. Okay, one line let me tell you, what is that V1 minus V4? In the theoretical description in one of the videos, clearly it has been accentuated that V1 minus V4 is what? Correct. Free air delivery or actual volume of air. Okay. In addition to this, in one or the other problem, he may give compression efficiency or compressor efficiency, isothermal efficiency, 2 or 3 values of efficiency you should be aware of. Friends, these values of efficiency you have already dealt earlier. What is that compressor efficiency? While solving problems on gas turbine, you have come across ideal and actual work. Okay, so make sure that you take the values of ideal and actual work for calculating compressor efficiency. Okay. Similarly, isothermal efficiency. You should be aware of the values of isothermal work done, then ideal work, actual work. Just by knowing these values, we can solve any problem of any unpredictable nature. Okay. All right. Do you have any other variety of problem on air compressor? Yes. Friends, other than the expressions for work done for a single stage air compressor with and without clearance volume, we have yet another expression. What is that? You should be aware of volumetric efficiency under suction and ambient conditions. Okay. This is the next derivation. The students are supposed to practice it. All right. Let me remember. Let me try to make the things very clear. What is the expression for volumetric efficiency? Yes, you have already learned the derivation. P1 T ambient divided by P ambient T1 into entire thing multiplied by 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 to the power of N. This is a very simple derivation wherein you have already come across in the theoretical sessions. If you remember this, I think 90% of the burden will be minimized. Any problem on compressor you take up, initially furnish the data. Immediately after furnishing the data, write the expression. If you are supposed to solve for work done with clearance volume first, write the formula properly. Then, what are all the items you need to find out, you can plan. Okay? So, friends, please inculcate the art of problem solving skills. Whether it is compressor, refrigeration, or any other module, the art of problem solving skill should be properly penetrated. Alright? Okay, I was talking about expression for volumetric efficiency. Let me take the first part. P1 T ambient divided by P ambient into T1. What is that? P1 T1 initial pressure and initial temperature. Then what is P ambient T ambient? They are the values of ambient pressure and temperature. So P1 T ambient divided by P ambient into T1, entire thing will be multiplied by what? Just now I told 1 plus C minus C into P2 by P1 to the power of n. Then what is that? C. It is the clearance ratio. So values based on clearance and swept volume. Then what is P2 by P1? Pressure ratio. Then ultimately N. N is what? Polytropic index. So friends, in the expression for volumetric efficiency, you will deal with pressure and temperature, clearance effect or clearance ratio, pressure ratio and polytropic index. Majority of the values will be given in the problem. Understand the problem clearly. On complete analysis, you solve it. Okay? So, this is what you need to learn based on the numerical problems on single stage air compressor. Alright. If a problem is given on two stage air compressor, anyhow in the undergraduate syllabus of applied thermodynamics, you should be aware of single and dual stage compressors. What is the expression? The sole expression what you need to remember is how you will be calculating power delivered by a two-stage or multi-stage compressor. Friends, in the theoretical description I have given, what is that? Power developed or work done by a two-stage air compressor is given by 2n divided by n minus 1 P1 V1 into then what will be the pressure ratio? I have clearly told if there are two stages, there will be three values of pressure. Then what will be pressure ratio? P3 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by 2n minus 1. Let me repeat it. 2n divided by n minus 1 P1 V1 into P3 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by 2n minus 1. Friends, it looks to be very esoteric or enigmatic. There is nothing here. You have already furnished expression for work done by a single stage air compressor. What is that actually? N by n minus 1 P1 V1. Since this is two stage, after the derivation, what you will be getting? 2n divided by n minus 1. Remaining part is the same. 2n by n minus 1 P1 V1 into in place of P2 by P1 we make it as what? Correct. P3 by P1 exponential n minus 1 by 2n minus 1. Okay. If in a problem they ask for multi-stage air compressor, what we are supposed to do? Don't worry. In place of 2n by n minus 1 for a two stage, how will be for n number of stages? Capital N divided by n minus 1. So what is capital N there? Number of stages. Number of cylinders incorporated in an air compressor. Then what will be lowercase n? Polytropic index. The rest of the part remains the same. N, capital N into small n divided by small n minus 1 P1 V1 into in place of pressure ratio we have taken for two stage P3 by P1. For n stages P suffix n plus 1 divided by P1 exponential yes n minus 1 by nn minus 1. In place of 2 you replace capital N number of stages. So for any number of stages you will be in a position to solve for work done or power developed by a compressor. So if you remember this information, I can promise you that any problem on air compressor will be easy for you. Okay, anyhow the problems pertaining to undergraduation level, okay, to some extent it is fathomable or comprehensible. But if a problem is twisted or if the problem is of enigmatic nature, how to solve? Don't worry, you are already aware of the terms like compressor efficiency, then you are aware of isothermal efficiency, you are aware of volumetric efficiency, all expressions you are aware of. I think you don't find any difficulty in solving problems on single and dual stage compressor. Fine. One more information let me tell you. When you take up problems on two stage air compressor, I have clearly told in the theoretical description between low and high pressure cylinders, in between you will be incorporating a component. What is that? Correct, intercooler. Remember, in the two stage air compressor, when we derive expression for condition for minimum power for a two stage air compressor, you will be embarking on a small expression, that is P2 equal to square root P1 P3. When you derive that, ultimately you can derive condition for minimum power. What is that condition for minimum power? You need not have to be discombobulated. What is that? W equal to 2n divided by n minus 1 P1 V1 into P3 by P1 to the power of n minus 1 by 2n minus 1. That is what just now we have discussed. In order to embark this expression, you should prove what? Intercooler pressure P2 is the geometric mean of suction and delivery pressure. What is that actually? P2 equal to square root P1 P3. This is all about the problem solving skills in reciprocating air compressor. If you listen to my lecture, I can promise that any variety of problem you can solve. Fine. I have given the suggestive tape for solving problems on air compressors. But which is the closely connected module with reciprocating air compressors? Yes, it is steam nozzles. Friends, in 2 or 3 videos earlier, whatever I have delivered on steam nozzles, I have given the theoretical description. Let me tell for a minute. Initially, to know about steam nozzles, you should be aware of the definition. Next, principle of operation. Then the types of zones or cones in a nozzle. Which are the 3 cones? Convergent, divergent, convergent, divergent. I have already described earlier. Next, you should be aware of the distinction between nozzles and diffusers. Finally, if you are in a position to use steady flow energy equation very steadily, you will be in a position to solve any problem. Okay, so this is what you should be aware of the theoretical description of nozzles. Now, irrespective of any university, if a student belongs to Department of Mechanical Engineering, in the celebrated course Applied Thermodynamics, one problem on steam nozzle you can expect. What variety of problem, friends? You need not have to be flummoxed at this situation. Very simple. You just remember the basic level of thermodynamics. Have you not come across steady flow energy equation? Yes. If you wish to solve any problem on nozzles, please remember you should be using steady flow energy equation. Alright, at this point you might have forgotten. Let me recapitulate the information. Energy entering at the inlet will be equal to what? Energy leaving at the exit. What will be the expression? Q plus M into H1 plus half V1 square plus GZ1 equal to what? W plus M into H2 plus half V2 square plus GZ2. This is what we have done the derivation in the basic level of thermodynamics. What are Q and W there? Net rate of heat and work transfer. What are H1 and H2? H1 and H2 are the specific values of enthalpy at inlet and exit. Then capital V1 and capital V2, they are very important in learning nozzles. V1 is what? Inlet velocity. V2 is what? Exit velocity. In some of the books authored by the Western authors, they use C1 and C2 for V1 and V2. V1 and V2 in most of the Indian authors or Indian books, inlet and exit velocity. But what are C1 and C2? They are the same. Don't get confused. They are the same. But Z1 and Z2, what are they? They are the initial and final elevation. What is the essence of steady flow energy equation? It is very simple. The sum of kinetic, potential and internal energy. That is all. If you know the basic level of thermodynamics, you don't find any problem. So friends, in solving any problem on steam nozzles, which is the foremost thing? For any problem, please remember steady flow energy equation. Usually in the problem, they will specify inlet velocity, V1. By seeing to thermodynamic data handbook, H1 and H2 are to be taken. On knowing H1 and H2, you may have to use Q and W. Okay? Then if elevation are given in the problem, you may have to use. Friends, let me tell you the secret. In solving any problem on nozzles, please bear in mind, usually the steam nozzles are positioned horizontally. Okay? If the steam nozzle is positioned horizontally, will you be taking Z1 and Z2? No. Z1 will be equal to Z2. That means to say there is no potential energy. Okay? Then, in the case of nozzle, the net rate of heat transfer and work transfer are neglected. They are 0. Okay? So, delta Q, delta W 0, Z1 is equal to Z2. You may have to take the values of enthalpy. That's it. Sometimes in the problem they will specify H1, H2, or else you may have to use thermodynamic data handbook. For the pertinent value of pressure, you may have to borrow H1 and H2. That's it. But ultimately, what are we bothered? We are bothered in calculating the velocity. I have revealed a secret earlier. In estimating velocity in a nozzle, which value will be more? Yes, you are right. V2, exit velocity, will be exceedingly higher than inlet velocity. Think that if inlet velocity is just 50 meters per second, then the exit velocity will be what? It may be around 500 or 600 meters per second. So the sole objective in solving any variety of problem on steam nozzle is what? The determination of velocity. You need not have to learn a new derivation or expression in the case of steam nozzles. If you are well versed in employing steady flow energy equation, any problem you can solve. Okay? The other variety of problem is in the middle part of the problem in a nozzle, they may ask you to calculate critical pressure. Critical pressure of steam or thrust pressure or throat pressure. You have a derivation for that. In the description, I have mentioned that it is very simple. P2 by P1 is equal to 2 divided by n plus 1 exponential n divided by n minus 1. This is what the derivation the students are supposed to practice. In any part of the problem, they may ask you to solve for the critical or throat pressure. If you employ this, it will be easy. This is all what you need to solve in steam nozzles. So friends, scoring very good marks in reciprocating air compressor and steam nozzle will not at all be a difficult task for the students. So in the air compressor part, 4 prominent derivations you please remember. Any problem we can solve. But when you come to steam nozzles, just 2 expressions. One is already known to you. What is that? Steady flow energy equation. Steadily employ in a steady state. That's it. Okay. Majority of the problems can be employed or solved using steady flow energy equation. What is the other part? If you wish to solve for critical thrust pressure, what is the expression? P2 by P1 equal to 2 divided by n plus 1 exponential n by n minus 1. That is all you need to remember. Okay. So friends, by listening to this video lecture, I can promise that any layman, any beginner will be in a position to solve problems of diverse nature. Okay. I hope this conversation in the video may be definitely beneficial. In the videos, whatever I will deliver in future, I will be explaining the problem solving skills pertaining to refrigeration and air conditioning, gas turbines, vapor power cycles and other modules. Okay. Thank you very much. The problems will be definitely useful for assessments and examination. Practice well. Listen to the video very oftenly. Okay. Thank you very much. Wish you good luck.